In one of my previous videos, I showed you how to select the best EAs from the top 10 robots app. But as you know, we are always looking for better systems and processes, so I continued digging into it and created rules for myself that will make it easier to find the best expert advisors, and I will share those with you. So the top 10 app is available on the EA Trading Academy website, and it generates automatically expert advisors for different assets, forex pairs, commodities, crypto, and for each asset we can see the backtest for the last 1 week, the last 1 month, last 1 year, and the last 5 years. Now whenever I like a strategy, I can download with one click the MetaTrader 4 version and the MetaTrader 5 version, and I can put it straight in MetaTrader, but I prefer to see what is the strategy behind the expert advisor. So I showed you that I use the EA Studio strategy builder, and I import these expert advisors back so I can see what is the exact strategy behind the robot. But still I had to create some rules that I can follow for the whole process, and I will select now 5 expert advisors from all of the assets, from the euro dollar, from the pound dollar, the dollar Swiss, and the rest. In total there are 120 strategies in the app, but I will select only the top 5 to put on my live account with Eightcap, and I will show you the results transparently by placing a link down below in the description to the FX Blue track record, so whenever you're watching the video you can see how these expert advisors will perform. And if you don't want to miss the outcome, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you will stay tuned. So the first rule is that I want to have the strategies added at least 2 weeks ago. 19 days ago works, which means that the strategy was added to the app 19 days ago, and with the new data, with the forward test, it is showing profits, and it's actually being very profitable recently. But that's not enough. Rule number 2 is that I want to see a smooth backtest. For example, the third strategy was added 74 days ago, but there is this huge drawdown. This is not really a smooth equity chart, and compared to these 2 or 3 strategies below. But because I always try to follow some rules, I will stick to drawdown lower than 3%. So the first strategy with 4.03 won't work for this live account. So rule number 1 is I want to have the strategies that were added 2 weeks ago or longer. Rule number 2 is I want to see drawdown below 3%, and number 3, I want to have logical trading conditions. And I showed this in the previous video, but let's combine the 3 rules now. As I said on the first row, there are no strategies that match the first 2 rules, and this strategy has a low drawdown, but it was added just 11 days ago. This 5th strategy was added 32 days ago, and it has a drawdown below 3%. So that's a strategy I will download. If I scroll lower, you will see that this expert advisor was added 19 days ago, but the drawdown is above 3%. Here we have a bigger drawdown, and with that strategy right here we have 40 days forward test and drawdown of 2.16, and I will download that strategy. And with the last row, I don't see a strategy that matches rule number 1 and rule number 2. So what I will do now, I will go through all of the assets and I'll make sure that I download the robots that match rule number 1 and match rule number 2. So in total, I downloaded 28 expert advisors that were matching my rules, number 1 and number 2. Now it is time to upload them back in EA Studio and see which ones have a logical rules. If I show the downloads folder, you will notice that there are plenty for the Ethereum and for the Bitcoin, but I always want to have a balanced portfolio, so I will aim at having 5 different trading assets. So go go now to EI Studio. I'll remove that strategy and I will upload back the first strategy that I downloaded for euro dollar. Here it is. It uses 3 entry indicators, 1 exit indicator, stop loss of 73 and take profit of 94. But I'll be trading this on a live account with Eightcap, so I will switch the data, and you just saw that there was not a huge difference in the balance chart. This is because I use regulated brokers, and when you use regulated and huge brokers, they use similar liquidity providers, so there shouldn't be really a huge difference in the back test. And I use Eightcap because they offer really good trading conditions for the forex pairs, for the commodities, plus they are regulated broker. They have an office in Bulgaria, they have an office in London with the Financial Conduct Authority, which is one of the strictest, but I'll leave a link down below in the description if you want to test Eightcap with a demo or a live account. So with the first strategy, in order to have a long trade, we want to see the Bollinger Bands with the rule the bar opens below lower band after opening above it. But at the same time, we have the MACD line is higher than the signal line and the awesome oscillator rises. And in order to have that long trade, we want to see those confirming each other. With the first indicator, we want to see a move downwards, but with the other two, we are chasing a move upwards. So that's not a strategy I'll be trading. Now I'll import back the second expert advisor, and you see that this one uses stochastic line crosses the signal line downward. Again, the second indicator is against the downward move from the first indicator, so I'll go to the third expert advisor, and here the first indicator is RSI changes its direction downward, the bar opens below lower band, and MACD line is higher than the signal line, so the third indicator doesn't really make sense. I will upload the next expert advisor, which is from the dollar Swiss, where we have the accelerator oscillator crosses the level line downwards. So it is just one indicator, and I will avoid trading this strategy as well. I will upload the next one for the dollar yen, and I will show you that it has a rule. MACD line crosses the signal line downward. Bear's power is lower than the level line, and the awesome oscillator is higher than the level line. Again, I will skip trading the strategy, and I will go for the second dollar yen expert advisor, where we have the standard deviation changes its direction upward. RSI falls, bull's power is higher than the level line. And here is where you shouldn't really give up. I'll go for the next strategy, hoping that I will like more the entry indicators. I'll click on open, and here it is. Bear's power crosses the level line downward. We have an indicator that wants to buy the lows. The second one is stochastic falls. So this strategy is aiming to buy the lows and sell the highs. We have a stop loss of 64, take profit of 92, a very good risk reward ratio, and we have the standard deviation crosses the level line upward as an exit rule. So if I show you the indicator chart, you will see with this example right here that we have a long trade after a down movement from the price, and it was detected from the indicators, and here is the exit with the take profit. Here is a short trade. The price goes up and we sell at that point, and the take profit was hit. So that is definitely a strategy that I want to trade, and I'll put it in a new folder naming it top 5 EAs, and I'll just drop this expert advisor in here, and I'll continue now until I find 5 robots for 5 different currency pairs matching my rules. And here is a strategy for the Bitcoin that I want to show you. Bear's power changes its direction upwards, and at the same time we want to have the confirmation from the CCI higher than the level line. You can see what a beautiful balance chart there is in the most recent period. The momentum crosses the level line downward is the exit condition, and the stop loss is about $437, and take profit is $997. indicators with the Bitcoin price, which is a good risk-reward ratio. And I'll keep looking into the strategies to find those that just make sense to me as a trader. Of course, when there is just one indicator, it doesn't mean that that's a bad strategy. Some of the strategies in the top 10 app have been profitable for such a long time, and they have just one entry condition. And our experience showed that sometimes we see very profitable strategies when one of the indicators shows up and the others show down. But at the end of the day, when these two are combined, they form a really nice expert advisor, and all of the strategies from the top 10 expert advisors app are being tested with plenty of cross checks and robustness tools, so you can select the strategies even by looking at the equity chart, because this is the most important at the end of the day, to have a profitable strategy no matter what are the entry or the exit indicators. However, I prefer to trade those that just make sense to me as a trader by looking at the indicators. I'll leave it on you to decide which expert advisors you want to trade, and I will include down below in the description 50% discount to the top 10 robots app, so you'll have the chance to download as many expert advisors as you wish, and they update constantly because we have automated the whole process. Now, before you go guys, check out this video on my site to learn more about the top 10 app. And if you have any questions, let me know down below in the description. I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.